Hey folks, I'm just here back with another video discussing about the WrestleMania's card that took place during night 1 and night 2. And I hear everyone talking about how great it is to have 2 nights of WrestleMania. And I have to say, I don't like it. And I'll explain why. I'm going to give you a breakdown of what the match card could have looked like on one night instead of 2 nights. And it would have been a lot shorter. And it would have been one night with 4 hours of wrestling. And that's it. Here's how. There's several matches on the card out of both nights. 7 matches each night, which gives you a total of 14 fucking matches. What the hell do we need 14 matches on a fucking pay-per-view? That's number one why the show had to be two nights. I mean, come on. Then you talk about the entire card on paper. There's about 8 to 10 matches that you could really say are worthy of being at WrestleMania. And that's not talking about the build. Forget about the build. The build, the build, folks, is terrible for every fucking match on the card. All right? Practically every match, except for the Universal Championship with the triple threat match, which some people hate and some people actually like the fact that it was a triple threat match. So that's number one. Universal Championship most definitely belonged on the card. So bottom line, we definitely have a match there. The WWE Championship match, if it had a better build, yes, it definitely belonged on the card. You can't have a WWE Championship match but have a Universal Championship match. You can't have the WWE title off the card, regardless of how good or bad the pay-per-view is towards the bill. So that's number 2. So you have the Universal Championship match and the WWE Championship on the line, both titles. Those are 2 matches you should have on your card. I would have to say that the Raw Women's title and the SmackDown Women's title belonged on the card. Do I believe Rhea Ripley deserved to lose or win the Raw Women's Championship? To be quite frank with you, the way Asuka has been built, it gives me no care in the world that she won or retained or lost the title, to be quite frank with you. But overall, they could have done better towards Asuka instead of having her lose. So, bottom line, I agree with a lot of people, but I thought it was kind of cool seeing a nice surprise ending towards the match for the Raw Women's title, as I mentioned in my review. But, was the match terrible? No, I don't think it was terrible. I think it was all right. But bottom line, I truly didn't give a shit who won the match. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks? Oh, fuck, man. That was a good match. I praised that match. I gave it a lot of... I even stated that it was actually almost one of the best matches on the card. I believe I did. If I didn't... Oh, well. Sorry. But... No, it was a good match, and I was happy that Bianca Belair won the title, though I did feel that Sasha Banks should have retained the title, but I get why. They were trying to get all the NXT women that were competing for a women's championship on each brand an opportunity to win and show that they are wanting to push younger stars. It's a political ploy. They're probably not going to hold on to those titles for very long. I guarantee you by SummerSlam, Bianca Belair is going to lose that championship to Sasha Banks. Guaranteed. So, we got 4 matches right there. Seth Rollins and Cesaro most definitely belonged on WrestleMania's card. Hands down, no doubt about it. Bad Bunny teaming with Damian Priest. That would be match number 6. With John Morrison and The Miz. I thought that match was actually very entertaining. I thought Bad Bunny performed very good in this matchup. Probably the best celebrity that ever performed in a match. I mean, the only other one that comes close to that is probably Floyd Mayweather, and that was because he knocked the shit out of freaking Big Show in the face at WrestleMania 24. If you guys even remember that. So yeah, that definitely deserved to be on the match card, especially the way Bad Bunny performed with Damian Priest. Thought that was awesome. Match number 7. Match number 7, Randy Orton and The Fiend belonged on WrestleMania, but the way that match ended, holy shit. Before even knowing the results, on paper, it belonged on the fucking WrestleMania card. We had a 3-month build of him being burned. He was covered in, he would look like he was charred to death. Looked like Chucky at a fucking Child's Play 1. And, bottom line, it was a noteworthy match that had to take place at WrestleMania, and it should have ended with Bray Wyatt winning, of course. That would be match number 7. Match number 8. Trying to think here off the top of my head because I don't have the list of matches in front of me. Match number 8, Big E and Apollo Crews. That match should have been on there because it was a very good built-up match. Probably the second best match built up on the WrestleMania card. But the end result of it was pretty terrible the way they did it. It was very short, too. I saw how long it was. It was like only 6 minutes. It's a fucking joke. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Riddle. I believe this is match number 9 now. Yeah, Riddle and I think this is match number 10. Whatever the case is. Riddle and Sheamus with the U.S. Championship, I think is deserving to be on the card simply because of what they did in that match. I thought they did great, but there was no build to it. And I believe that would be match number 10. Let me recalculate the numbers here because I lost track. So, WWE Championship, Universal Championship, the women's titles, which would make it 4. Seth Rollins and Cesaro makes it 5. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus John Morrison. That makes it match number 6. Randy Orton and The Fiend. The Intercontinental Championship. And the U.S. Championship. I would say that about does it. That would be the right amount of matches for a one-night WrestleMania. If you go back and watch WrestleMania 21, you'll see that the card has only 8 or 9 matches, and it's a one-night episode, one-night pay-per-view. So, bottom line, guys, I mean, there was no reason for 14 fucking matches. There was no need for a 2-night pay-per-view. None of it. 5 of the other matches on the card were shit. They were worthless. The women's tag team matches on both nights sucked. They didn't need to be on the card. They could have been a fucking Monday Night Raw episode or a SmackDown episode. That's 2 matches right there. What else? I'm trying to remember the fucking card off the top of my head because I don't have my computer in front of me. Bottom line, though, guys, like I'm saying, there was no need for all this shit. 14 fucking matches? Really? They were lucky they could even build 3 matches up and make them important. The only matches that had any important build going into it was fucking, the Universal I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say. The Universal Championship, the Intercontinental title match, Big E with Apollo Crews, and the match with Randy Orton. Well, no, there's 4 decent matches that were built up. The Randy Orton and The Fiend was built up pretty decently. Seth Rollins and Cesaro was a nice touch for a good grudge match that could have been the mid-card of the show. And the rest of the show sucks. The rest of the show has no fucking build. I mean, I know I put the other matches on there, but, I mean, let's be honest. The build towards these matches going to WrestleMania were terrible. That's the bottom line. On paper, they're great. And those 9 matches I selected for this review, or not for this review, for this video, is what we should have seen at WrestleMania, and that's it. That's all it needed to be for fucking WrestleMania. We didn't need a full-fledged 2 nights of wrestling, blowing our fucking minds out and draining us from this shit. Half of the card on both nights sucked. There was no need for this. The women's tag team wrestling sucked. I don't care about the women's tag team wrestling. Tag team titles. It's bullshit. That's the bottom line to that. At the end of the day, guys, they overdid everything. Quantity over quality. That is the deal with WWE. They feel more is better. No. Quality is better than quantity. We need to see quality. If you can only build 4 or 5 good matches, then have a 2.5 hour show. If you can build 9 matches, have a 4-hour show. But build them up. Make them important. Some of the matches aren't going to be all as important as the other matches. I get that. But at least have the matches have a purpose on the card. Some of these matches I put on there, based on quality of wrestling, yeah, they belong there. It felt like WrestleMania. Sheamus and Matt Riddle was a good match. But let's get a little real here. I mean, there's nothing being built up on these shows. And to talk to all the people out there that wanted to see Roman Reigns versus Edge, you know what? They could go ahead and do that. They could do that right here and now. SmackDown coming up this Friday. They could easily go ahead and produce and build towards 5 weeks worth of wrestling between Roman Reigns and Edge at WrestleMania Backlash. That's the new slogan, WrestleMania Backlash. They got to use the name WrestleMania Why WrestleMania Backlash? Why don't they just call it Backlash? All you're going to tell me is you're having a 3rd WrestleMania for 5 weeks from now, is what you're trying to tell me. We're going to repeat all the matches that took place at WrestleMania and redo them over again for another pay-per-view event. Come on, let's get real. Let's get real. But yeah, people want to see Roman Reigns versus Edge. That's what they wanted to see at WrestleMania. That could still take place. I mean, granted, it won't take place at the actual WrestleMania pay-per-view, but we could see Roman Reigns versus Edge one-on-one. And to be quite frank with you, with all the intrigue by all the people out there that I've heard say they want to see Roman Reigns versus Edge, it's kind of split down the middle. I'm one of the people that was okay with the triple threat match. But there's people out there that wanted to see just Edge versus Roman Reigns. And I think you should just give them what they want. For those people that didn't want to see it, for the people that did want to see it, give them what they want. Show them that this match would be suck ass. This match would be pathetic. Because I'm telling you what, folks, without Daniel Bryan there, Edge was not prepared to go a 20-minute match with Roman Reigns. There is no fucking way in hell Edge was going to be able to pull off a 20-minute match with him consistently performing in that match with Roman Reigns one-on-one. There ain't no fucking way. The guy is old. Doesn't discredit what he's done in the business. Doesn't discredit that he's not a good performer. It just means he's getting old. He needs to hang it up. He needs to learn that time is up. It's time to go away. He doesn't have anything more to prove to anyone, to himself or anything. He did something that was never done in wrestling. He came back 11 years, or 10 years. 10 fucking years. It took him 10 years, and he came back, and he made it to WrestleMania in the main event, no less. He was in the fucking main event of WrestleMania at 47 years old. Yeah, he had Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns in the same match with him. But regardless, that's a hell of an achievement for anyone. I guarantee you Christian Cage will not accumulate that kind of achievement. I don't even believe he's going to get a world title match against Kenny Omega at an AEW pay-per-view. I really don't see that happening. They are not producing him enough on television to give me that belief. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. And if it happens, I don't know. Were they going to give him the fucking AEW world title? That'd be nuts. I don't see him as a guy that should be taking the title off of fucking Kenny Omega. Give me a break. That's like saying he's better than Okada. Okada is probably one of the best fucking in-ring performers today. That's the reason why Kenny Omega and him had the best match of all time in the 21st century. There ain't no match better than what they did in their second matchup in that draw. I think it was Dominion, I think it was called. And they fucking killed each other. And that was in 2017. Those guys destroyed each other. And it was a draw. You don't see that usually in professional wrestling. That was probably the greatest match of all time. You want to talk about best matches of all time? That was definitely one of them. The other one is Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, hands down. But my point being is, guys, you got to know when it's time. Edge's time is up. He doesn't need to do any more of this. He's done everything he could in professional wrestling, and he's given us everything we could ask for in a guy. He came back after fucking a major injury that could have ended his life. And they managed to better technology, and he got himself in better shape and was able to overcome this issue that he had. But my God, guys, you want him to win over Roman Reigns? Whoever thinks that, please get your head examined. We're trying to build for the future. Roman Reigns losing to Edge and then winning the title back ain't building for the future. It's staying trapped in the here and the now. Let's try thinking about the future, huh? The future is what matters. Edge is not something you're going to be building towards the future. He's 47 fucking years old. So for the people that want Edge to win, I get your nostalgia. I get your reasoning behind it. I would love to see Edge win a world championship with the story he was building. But with him being 47, him facing Roman Reigns, who is really one of the best stars on the show, you're going to have him lose the title to Edge? You got to be out of your fucking mind. Thank God that didn't happen. That's all I have to say about that. But would I give the fans what they want? The ones that wanted to see the Edge versus Roman Reigns? Based on the fucking title of the pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash, why not give it to them? Who the fuck cares? The shows are shit anyway. The match between these two guys couldn't be as bad. At least they got a good build coming out of it if they were to do this. And whatever. And you get this fucking nostalgia bullshit act over with. Show the fans what you really would have seen at WrestleMania. It probably would have been shit. And we get it on a fucking B-level pay-per-view, and if the match turns out shit, whatever, we move on. Match turns out great, okay. So, some of the fans that were wanting to see Roman Reigns versus Edge would have been right. Okay, terrific, you're right. Whoop-de-fucky-do. But bottom line, like I've been saying here in the last 10 minutes, because I actually kind of technically should have ended this 10 minutes ago, but I went on a tangent about Roman Reigns and Edge with fans talking about how this match should have been a singles match instead of triple threat. I truly feel that we should just give the other half of the people that wanted to see this match what they want. You got a name called WrestleMania Backlash. Give them what they want. Let's see what happens. Let's see what kind of match these two guys would have pulled off if they would have been doing it at WrestleMania. It's not going to be any different than what they would have done at WrestleMania that they could do here. The only difference is there's not going to be a crowd. Big fucking whoop-de-doo. Okay, we all know what the crowd reaction would have been. Roman Reigns, we already knew what the crowd reaction turned out to be because we already seen the event. So chances are the fans would have been booing the shit out of Roman Reigns. The fans would have been cheering for Edge. And we would have gotten the same kind of fan reaction we would have got if it was a singles match anyway. So I think him stacking up two opponents at the same time definitely establishes his dominance on the SmackDown roster as the Universal Champion. That is why I am totally fine with the idea of what they did at WrestleMania and having this triple threat match. But anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And again, I will be uploading a video about AEW Dynamite for April 14th, 2021 review. And I'll see you guys again later on tonight. Thank you. Bye.